if you will, a word that's out there, but you need to see what a choice is so that you can make an informed decision, because I don't want you to be ignorant. I don't care how little education you have. If you're ignorant about the biggest decision you're going to make in your life, then you're going to regret it. But if you have all the information there is, and you make that decision, then it's going to be more palatable to live with. But how many of them are going to change their mind if they get all the information, if they see it?
I'll tell you what's fantastic. We have 90% of the abortion-minded women changing their minds. Because, Janet, they saw the reality and they said, oh my gosh.
Right.
They understood that this is an incredible gift. It became a person and not a problem because they saw it. And you know what? No one took away her right to choose. She still chose. She was still in control. And she saw for herself. She was carrying a baby and said, no, this is my child.
That's why if 50 million women in this country have had abortions, 50 million women. Have you seen a show on all these post-aborted women? Have you seen anybody come out and have a show about post-aborted women? No, because women don't talk about their abortion because it's such a trauma. It's the war within.
It is.
And it's the great silence of American women. We don't talk about our abortions. You don't talk about them. You don't talk about the pain, the regret. You know that those girls you went to college with that had abortions aren't going on to have live births. Some of them are drinking too much. Some are in jail because they did crack cocaine. Well, when did that start? After their abortion. But because we're not talking, it's the last silence in America. Women, you could talk to about a woman about anything, but you're not going to talk about her abortion. But if you could show her what that live baby looks in her womb, it's not a choice. It's be informed. Give her the information. And you're saying fully 90% will never choose that life of regret.
Right, never.
Right.
And you know what, Janet? I've never had anybody return with their baby after they've given birth and said, hey, you were wrong. Take this child from me. It was the worst thing I ever did in my life. I've never seen that, ever. They come back and they're like hugging and saying, I came this close to not having my son. What was I thinking? And how could a woman ever even go there?
Right.
And these are the women that came in that, saying, I'm going to go get the abortion, but I'll get the ultrasound first.
Right. And I think all of Hollywood makes movies about love. And we all love movies about love, but you could have a million different jobs. Your financial situation could be, but even in the poorest countries in the world, they choose to bring their babies to birth because it's the love of a child. And to think that a woman's not going to miss that. Who are we kidding because we can't get on the national news, because me and Patty Becker and Janet Cocchi will never get a national forum, So as long as we keep it quiet, women aren't suffering. Well, that's I'm sorry, I digress.
That's not true. Yeah, you're right.
I'm sorry, I could go on. Nothing hurts me worse than to see women lied to. Maybe it's because I've had the privilege of an education, and the big education, the bachelor's degree, graduate school, had all this education, had the job in the city with the secretary, the professional woman, did all that stuff. But yet I see all these women that are being blindsided and not being given informed consent. And to that end, God sent me this forum, and thank you.
But you know what, Jane, you made a good point. What women are forgetting about is that abortion is going to affect their career. It's going to affect their future. It's going to affect them in the workplace. It's going to affect them in their home. It's going to affect them in their relationship. It's going to affect them when they walk into somebody's wedding in a church.
Right.
They're affected from that point on, and it's going to tear up every area of their life.
But how could they know? Because nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
Oprah's not going to have that show today.
Right.
It's not going to be on Channel 2. It's not going to be on. It's not going to be on any national channel today about a woman regretting her abortion. Even Jennifer O'Neill, the actress who came on. When are you to see her on Nightline talking about the effects of her abortion? Right. You're not, because someone once told me, because so many women and men in the television industry, like us all, have all been affected either secondary trauma of our family and friends' abortions, that they're not going to talk about it. So there's not going to be a forum for it. So how's the woman going to know about that regret when it's the last silent barrier? A woman, I have so many women friends, maybe because I'm honest and some other good reasons, but I have so many women friends, but we don't talk about their abortions. We don't go there. We don't go there. And I'm thankful again for this forum. I'm sorry, Patty, I digress. Tell me more about you and your work. Your work is the interesting.
One other point I would like to make that's very important for that woman is to make sure that when you're making a decision, that you're making it for yourself and not for the people around you. You know,
Right.
sometimes the pressures between the boyfriend, your parents, your career, they're all outside forces that are really ushering you into that clinic, you know, to make that decision. And that's a decision that she should be making internally in her heart. And no one else should be that instrumental in trying to turn her from her own decision, you know, because that's a bad decision. Every time she makes one because of the pressure outside of that, it's always going to turn out wrong.
Right.
You know, she's really got to pay attention to what's going on in her heart. And that's what we try to bring out in her, you know, like, what do you really want to do? And what's the biggest obstacle? If I can find out what your obstacle is, Janet, and I can remove it from you, guess what? You're free to do what you really intended to do from the very beginning in your heart. And that's one of the things that the center, you know, is really focused on. Finding out what does the woman want to do. You know, I've sat across from a lot of clients that we've counseled, and I know one woman came in with her daughter, and she just wanted us to find out what her daughter really wants to do facing this pregnancy. But I noticed that the mother stayed in the room, and every time I'd go to talk to the daughter about it, she kept looking at her mother. You know, you could tell she was nervous to say what she wanted to do because her mother was there. So finally I had the mother step out of the room, and I said to the daughter, if nobody were around, if your mom wasn't here, or there was nobody you had to second guess, what would you choose for yourself? And she knew immediately. She said, I'd choose adoption. She knew immediately. And I said, well, you know what, we need to go tell your mom. And we did, and it worked out beautifully. But it was all about her making the decision for herself and taking a stand for that.
That's why I'd like to see more counseling with the men involved, because I think a lot of women are pressured by the boyfriends whose worry is money. And I understand it's very expensive to live, but I understand we could all live a lot less, you know, with a lot less. We're the richest country in the world. We have this, you know, the richest lifestyle in the world. Believe me, you can find all the secondhand baby clothes. You know, you can find free diapers from places like you, and free babysitting while you finish school. College degrees and grants when you have an unplanned pregnancy. There's all these people like Patty Becker waiting out there to help them, and that's why we need to get the story out. We need to get the story out that there is no stressor, there is no monkey on your back that can't be handled. That Patty Becker can't help you.
That's right. We will take it off your back, whatever it takes.
Really. And for you that are not local, that again, she's in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. You can get to her by bus, train, plane, and call her. And there's a Patty Becker in your city, in your town, waiting to help you. Why? I think because God has set the Patty Beckers of the world up in your path, because He's got your back, and you just need to get out of the confusion and the lies and get to the truth and get informed, to get past your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mother, whatever it is that you think's holding you back, and find the Patty Becker that can set the path straight to where you need to go. Because and there's the couple. I want to speak for the couple that's waiting for your baby. Because I know that, like myself, I suffered from infertility issues and secondary infertility issues and all that good stuff. And believe me, I've met so many adoptive parents that made better parents than I ever dream of being. And they're waiting for that baby. And sometimes God allows you, there's no baby is a mistake. You know what I mean? Maybe you didn't plan it, but it's not a mistake. Only God can send a baby. You're talking to somebody who babies didn't come easy to and would love to have 20 more. So that baby is there, and there's that couple waiting for that baby. And I want to speak to you about them today, that they're waiting, and all that girl needs is the right information, and that guy needs the right information. And now they can meet the couple, they can pick the couple. There's catalogs. Do you want them to be, you know, rich, poor? Do you want them to have a sibling? Do you want them to be this religion, that religion? You can pick your child's parents.
You can pick the relationship too, you know, Janet, which is great. You can say, well, I want to have pictures every 6 months, or, oh no, I don't want the baby to find out about me till he's 18. You set the terms. And it's fantastic.
Instead of abortion blocking your way, there's an open door. It's your choice. The choices are unbelievable. What's